Hello and welcome. My name is Dr. Michael Smith, and I am the founder of the Soma Dao Qigong Process and Teacher Training Program. This is the second video in a series of 4 based on an article I wrote on my website, somadaoqigong.com. If you haven't read that article yet, I'd recommend pausing this video and reading it first. Also, if you haven't followed along with the first video in this series, I'd recommend experiencing that first as well. If you presently require any form of health care, I would recommend speaking with your clinician before engaging in this kind of somatic awareness, inquiry, and release. The second wound of trauma, in my experience, is comfort seeking. When we go back in history, the first form of medicine and healing is something we would call state shift, which people used to do by drumming for hours, hyperventilating, or of course using medicinal plants. This is an instinct within human beings, to have a sense of autonomy about our state of being. And this is one of the roots of addiction and complications with trauma. If anyone gets nervous or upset, no matter who they are, they're going to want to blow off some steam and change how they feel. So we all have a choice: numb out with TV, change our state with chemicals, or learn to trust that this is a natural instinctual need to blow off some steam, to become centered and to feel at home in your body. And in a way, that's a big part of autonomy. So in the second video that we're going to experience today, our focus is going to be on state shift. And that's going to take us a little bit deeper into our experience of ourself. The practice we're going to explore today is going to be all about state shift. So if you're feeling serious, maybe go for a walk and find a bit of a playful, ready, curious place within yourself. This kind of practice is prone to bring about an emotional release in many people. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. So let's begin our practice and learn to shift our state. So let's begin as before. Our feet are about shoulder width apart, knees bending towards your toes, hips relaxed and feeling like they're just above your heels or just in front of your heels. From our first experience, we learned about being relaxed and rooted like a tree that can be swaying in the wind and kind of loose in our branches. So that's the feeling our body wants to have. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Once more, inhale. Exhale. So let's check in with your periscope from the first practice. So straighten your legs, think like you're looking over a fence. If you feel nervous, just feel into feeling nervous. And then think of that looking over the fence as kind of like a periscope. And then just drop your periscope down into your knees, into your feet, into your hips, into your belly, and into your chest. So we're going to begin by swinging our arms very slowly, kind of like slow motion. Now, if I was to do this at a normal speed, it would be kind of like my arms are floppy. But I want to do this slowly because I want to see if I can exaggerate turning with my hips and then my ribs and then my shoulders. Then my hips and ribs and shoulders. Now this might be silly, and that's kind of the point. Imagine you're doing the robot dance, and we're going to be the robot turning our hips, ribs, shoulders. The sound effects are optional. Turn your hips, ribs, shoulders, hips, ribs, shoulders. Now this is meant to just help us connect with our body and be a bit silly. And then we can go a little quicker and a little looser. But see if you can move at this speed and feel very relaxed and open. And see if you can move hips, ribs, and shoulders, hips, ribs, and shoulders, just to keep yourself very focused on feeling the inside of your body. Okay, so we'll settle down. Now we're going to focus on a feeling in the sense of state shift, of expanding your being, expanding your chi or your energy. So settle into your posture, inhale and let your hands float up. Expand everything outwards. Exhale. Inhale, expand. Once more. It's good to be able to occupy a lot of space with just feeling and attention and curiosity. So let's focus on settling our energy, kind of like rain falling and then settling on the ground. We'll inhale, hands float out. Going from an expanded feeling now settling in. I don't want to collapse my body. I just want to relax into my structure. Inhale. Exhale. Bend your knees. Relax your pelvis and waist. And let your arms just fall. Once more. Let's just stay in this settled place. Inhale without moving your arms and feel that sense of expansion. Exhale, settle into your body, just sink in to the floor. Inhale, feel your belly, your chest. Exhale, empty your body and hang from above as if your head's attached to a string. So now turning your body left and right, we're going to play with our hands in a pattern called weaving. And in a way it's kind of like you're hitchhiking with your thumbs, going this way and going this way. But you're going to leave your hands soft. And again, turn your hips and ribs and shoulders, hips and ribs and shoulders. Just want to find that feeling of being at home in your body. So what we're going to do now is often described as shape-shifting, because we're going to turn into different kinds of animals. Now, obviously that's a kind of a metaphor. So the first thing we're going to do is take this weaving experience and turn it into kind of almost like you're going to go to sleep. And take your hands, and then instead of going to sleep, we're going to think of our body like we're a snake. And we're just going to snake as far as we can to the side, come back to the middle, and then snake. Loosen your spine, your neck, and it's kind of like dancing. There's really no right way to do this. If you want to make the noise like a snake, you can be like inhale, exhale. So another animal we can play with becoming would be any kind of big cat. So our hands will just float up in front, crossing just gently in front of our chest. And as we do that, we're going to turn our foot out, turn our body, and then think of being a big cat, and you're just going to pounce on the air right in front of you, and then come back. Now, I'm just going to do this towards the camera because this is meant to be like playful acting. So I'm going to be a cat coming at the camera and be like, right? So when you're moving, we want to play with shape shifting. So let's try the other side. Hands float up, turn my left foot out, and then pounce a little bit. So you can do that as many times and for as long as you like. Some people like cats and some people like snakes. Another one to play with is to flap your wings like this. Now, depending on how you feel about things that flap their wings, you could be an eagle or a condor, maybe a pigeon, or maybe a dragon. And in the same way, I'm going to focus on this flapping. I'm going to allow myself to feel what it would feel like to fly and be so far above everything, and to be able to look down and just see the world as it is and see your life as it is. And without having a sense of judgment, but a sense of wisdom and the patience of something like an eagle or a dragon. This is where the pigeon might not work out so well. So as I'm flapping my wings, I want to feel loose, I want to feel playful, kind of like I'm dancing. Aware that I'm exploring this idea of shape-shifting, becoming free enough in my body to play with how I come into being in my body. So now I'm going to turn to the right a little bit, turn my foot out, and I'm just going to play with turning my hips, turning my ribs, turning my shoulders, feeling what it's like to have a really wise and patient perspective. Turn your foot back in. Make sure you're having fun. Let's go the other way. Turn your foot. Settle in. Breathe deep into your belly and chest. Turn your hips. Turn your ribs. And turn your shoulders and your shoulder blades. And just gently come back to center. So now we're going to focus a bit more on our breath. So we're going to fill our belly with our breath, fill our chest, empty our chest, empty our belly, and kind of squeeze the breath out all the way in. Now, if you've never done Qigong before, this might seem a little weird, but at the end of every breath, squeeze out the chest, squeeze out the belly, and then you're going to tighten your rectum and your urethra, or basically try and hold in like you're going to fart, or hold in like you have to pee a little bit. So I inhale, inhale, exhale, squeeze out the breath, squeeze out the breath, and then just tighten the perineal floor a bit to make sure you squeeze the breath all the way out. So when you inhale, the first thing you do is inhale right down to your perineal floor and relax it. And then fill your belly, front, back, side to side, up into your chest. So let's just breathe really deeply. Go for a count of, say, 4 or 5 heartbeats or seconds as you breathe in, 4 or 5 as you breathe out. We're going to focus almost like a bellows. We're really going to breathe in and out with a bit of force, and you should hear your breath like a soft whistle. So here we go. Inhale. Now with the flapping. and just pause and breathe normally. If you feel a little bit tingly, a little bit woozy, a little bit dizzy, maybe even a little bit sweaty, then that's as much as you need to do. And you may also want to do this sitting in a chair. But that's another aspect of shape-shifting and state shift, is using your breath to change your brain chemistry a little bit and to allow your body to relax. And if you breathe like that, maybe start sitting down first for about 3 to 5 minutes. You'll notice about 20 minutes later to the next 2 or 3 hours that you feel a little bit more open, a bit alert, a bit focused, but also really calm. So let's settle our energy. Inhale. Once more. And let's end our practice. Thank you for joining me in this practice, and I hope to see you in video 3 of this series. Have a great day.